Hey, 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 hey. Christmas is a nice holiday. No, just joking. So I went live, so hopefully some of you can hear me and will be able to join this. I know I haven't scheduled it, so we'll just see if somebody's gonna show up. And if not, then it's all good. I just want to kind of catch up with you guys. I know there's gonna be a big break for me because I'm going home for a few weeks now. But yeah, just wanted to catch up and see what's going on. And why am I doing it now? Because it's Sunday, and in 5 days, the whole Europe and the whole Christian countries are celebrating Christmas. And I'm part of that culture, and it's everywhere. So I just wanted to have a live stream focused on that, maybe talk about some other stuff, but I guess that's the core issue with the Christmas and stuff. Um, and yeah, just kind of catch up. So let me know if you can hear me, and if you can, write me a comment, or maybe tell me where are you from, so we can engage in a meaningful discussion. Mashallah. And yeah, basically, why did I pick this topic? It's pretty simple. Um, I am a former Christian now. Some people will jump in and say, "You were never a Christian. You don't believe in Bible." Okay, I don't believe in it now, but I used to be a Christian, so for like 16 years, 17 years of my life. And then I left and became an atheist, as many people do. And now I'm a Muslim. So this is my first year as a Muslim. I converted earlier this year. And so technically, these are my first Christmas, which are, I can't really celebrate them because I remember last year's Christmas, and I was already, researching Islam and stuff like that. And actually, today I was thinking 2 years back, in a Christmas time, 2 years back, I was asking one of my colleagues about God. I remember that. So I was already on this kind of searching part. And last year around Christmas was really a breaking point. Um, and I wasn't a Muslim by then, but I already knew about Islam. I already knew the basics, but I just wasn't convinced that it's the truth, and I was kind of living this weird lifestyle. But I kind of believed that Islam is really the answer to many of my problems. But I didn't want to commit. I didn't want to become religious or didn't want to do anything. So I remember last year's Christmas was weird because I wasn't drinking. I remember I wasn't drinking that much, and I also bought gifts and did the whole Christmas tree thing. But as you must remember, like Christmas is a secular holiday. So as you know, Christmas tree originated in Germany, I think in the 16th or 17th century. I just looked it up, and basically, it has nothing to do with Christianity. And the whole Christmas tree tradition is really for secular people. So basically, everyone celebrates Christmas. Everyone celebrates Christmas. Only the Muslims can't. And some people, if they look at that, and they might be like, "You guys are so strict. You guys are so hard. You can't even do this. Like, why?" Because, like, maybe as a Christian, you'd be okay with, let's say you're a Christian and you see Muslims fast during Ramadan. You could be like, "Hey, let me join in. Let me do like 1 day of fasting with you guys to just check it out and break a meal with you at the end of the day, do some iftar stuff." We would welcome that. But Christianity doesn't have a problem with sharing traditions outside of its faith. It's actually built around like taking different traditions and making it in one thing. I'm not bashing Christianity. I think it's fine, but that's kind of the system that, like, you would go and attend a Jewish, let's say, I don't know, bar mitzvah or Jewish some holidays, and you see no problem in that because there's no like a message around, let's say, not polytheism, but there's no message like in Islam. In Islam, you have a very strict monotheism, and it really prohibits you from doing these things. So you can't really celebrate Christmas as you would. But as I was saying, last year I wasn't a Muslim, so I was still buying presents and doing that. But just so you know, it's a secular holiday now, and all the atheists, everyone is doing it. So I'm sure you guys know. Let me just highlight some comments. Salam, God bless you all. Salam, yan. Walaikum salam. So let me just continue and we'll see if somebody stops by. If not, it's cool. Basically, so as I was saying, secular holiday, everybody's gonna celebrate it. It's everywhere, every advertisement, everywhere you go, it's Christmas songs, Christmas tree. We have baby cheeses here. So in different countries, you have different people who bring presents. Okay. And the whole present thing, I think it's a Nordic pagan festival. But basically, how it works, like in the US, there's Santa Claus, which is like a made up figure. And then here in Europe, it's baby cheeses. Well, this is why baby cheese. I remember as a child, I was writing letters, not to Santa Claus, but to baby cheeses. Like, please, we call him Ježíšek. Ježíšek means baby cheeses. So we call him, we say like, like if I go outside of my house, there's like a small Bethlehem. And that's basically the birth of Jesus Christ. And there's three kings, and Mary and Joseph and all these things. And this is like displayed everywhere, right? And so that's the holiday, a birth of the God. And I remember writing to to Jesus like, "Hey, Jesus, I would like to have a computer, or I would like to get this," and just kind of like strangely, like this tradition has nothing to do with Christianity, but I would use baby Jesus in it. And so this is what people are doing, and even kids are doing. They write letters to baby Jesus in the US to Santa Claus or whatever. Then parents buy the gifts and they give them on the Christmas Eve on 24th of December. In the US, I think in the UK as well, maybe, I'm not sure, they do it on the 25th in the morning. Anyways, basically, and you have to pretend to be stupid. So you have to be like, you take your kids, basically, if you have kids, you have to indoctrinate them that this is true. And whenever there's like a dinner, so usually around 5-6 p.m, you fast during the day. So like you drink water. There's no fasting really, but you drink water. And basically at the end, around 5 p.m, everybody gets kind of like quiet. And you have a fish. You buy a fish that you kill in like a sink. And it's a couple of weeks before Christmas, usually do this. And you kind of cook it, right? And basically it's quiet, and kids are like really like, that's the they've been waiting for this their whole year, so they are very excited. And then at the in the evening, you say like, "Hey, Jesus is coming." This is what we do. Like, people maybe in the US, they use Santa Claus, but we say, "Jesus is coming, hide." And so we take the kids into separate room, and we're like showing like, "Hey, can you see Jesus?" And then you just hear bells like "Tududun, tududun, tududun," and that's like somebody else from my family usually brings the gifts under the Christmas tree. They put the kids there, and they do this like "Tududun, tududun," and the kid is like, "Oh, that was Jesus." So like the kid is excited. He goes out and he sees like a Christmas tree was empty, and now it's full of gifts, like 30 gifts under the tree. And he's like, "Jesus was here, I didn't see him, what?" And in the US they say, "Santa Claus was here, really?" And so that's kind of the game, right? So we basically, how it works, we eat carp or fish with potato salad. That's kind of Eastern European dish. Then Jesus comes, brings gifts. Then the kids open the gifts, and the adults as well. And we rejoice in new gifts materialistically. And basically that's it. Like, there's no praying, there's no God remembering, none of that. So as I'm saying, this is a completely secular holiday at this point. I can't really remember any time that this was kind of related to religion. Maybe when I was like young, and we used to celebrate this in my grandma's house, and kind of have like, because they are like very strict Catholics, and we would pray, and we would have like a priest come by and just spray some holy water on stuff on the meals. And but this is like village stuff. This is like very hardcore Christians, but even they don't really like pray and stuff like that, just maybe once. But usually, like, this is completely secular. But the thing is, as a Muslim, I can't even partake in that, because I know there's no baby Jesus. I remember actually like I'm such a complex personality. Like I was an atheist, right? And I remember my niece, no, my niece, my cousin. She's like 9. She was like 9, and she was like, "Well, I know there's no Santa Claus and there's no Jesus. I just found out. Like I know this." And I was like, I remember I was so direct with her. I told her, "Well, wait till you find out there's no God." And everybody was like, "Jan, shut up." I was like, "There's no God. What are you guys talking about? Why are you hiding this secret?" So you see, yeah, every idea is expansionist in nature, as I said in my last video. But basically, yeah, that's Christmas for us. We buy gifts, we have gifts, and then you just spend drinking the entire evening in front of the TV. You watch some movies. Home Alone, it's my favorite. I love it. Um, and then basically you go to sleep. So that's it. That's Christmas. The next day we usually get together and we go to visit family. So we have like 30 people show up in my grandma's house, and we kind of, like, some people pray, some like one prayer, and then we just give gifts again and we drink again. And then another day you do the same thing with your friends. So that's kind of Christmas, but it's completely secular and it's kind of commercialized at this stage. I don't mind it. Basically, it's not my issue that Christmas is commercial. Like, I know I'm not going to change it. And that's basically the church decided it's fine to commercialize Christmas. So I guess it's fine. But yeah, let me check out some comments before I talk about Christmas more, because Christmas is the favorite time of the year. It's still my favorite time of the year, by the way, even though I don't celebrate it. The atmosphere is really great. There's snow. It's like really people get together, families, and like I like that. But I don't. There's no like spiritual value for me at all in this. So like actually on this Christmas, inshallah, I'll go to a mosque, the only mosque in Slovakia which will be opened. I'll have to drive like 1 hour to pray Juma because it's on Friday, and then I'll go home and I have a podcast at 6 p.m. with Muslim skeptic, by the way, and we're gonna talk about apostasy law. So that's my Christmas. So it's gonna be pretty strange. Anyways, 25th in Ireland, I knew it. So I think all the English-speaking countries have it on 25th. Yeah. Salam alaikum, alaikum salam. Hey Jan, I'm from Turkey. What made you convert to Islam? Quite a big question. I was actually thinking about this recently. Like, yeah, I wanted to say, like, last few days I had this strange thought pattern where I was able to remember how I used to think, or what was my worldview as an atheist, as a Christian as well. It's quite strange, by the way, because I could see myself fighting with myself in my own head. So as a Muslim, I have a certain mindset, right? And then I remember as an atheist what my mindset was and how I would go against my current mindset. I think like this is very valuable because I know that I would want to stop it as an atheist because I don't believe in it. And I think it's toxic, Islam. As an atheist, you have to think like this because Islam wants to establish sort of God's law on the land in a nutshell, let's say. Uh, I mean, through whatever, dawah and stuff like that. But still, it's expansion. It's like people, it wants to convert people, right? It's evangelical in nature, whatever you want to call it. And I would like really dislike that as an atheist. I don't want this. I want to be secular. Everything should be secular. And then as a Christian, I remember being like very like, I remember the idea of God being also Jesus appealed to me at some point, but it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And then the whole theology, it's kind of uh, full of holes, right? But I remember how I was thinking as a Christian. I remember it very much, and so this is quite useful. So your question, why I converted to Islam? Man, that's a big question. Why did I convert to Islam? A bunch of research. Basically, you can't. I don't think you can actually convert to any religion without you wanting to convert into it at some point. And being sold on it. So You have rational arguments. You can have, then you see the Quran, and it kind of like it touches you in a sense. Then you see kind of the main metaphysical, not metaphysical, meta narrative of Islam. What is the purpose of life, right? And if it kind of falls, everything falls into like a puzzle, then I would say, yeah, I'm ready to convert, and you have your fitra vacant. But if it doesn't make sense at that stage, then you shouldn't, right? So that's it. Because there are things in Islam which are kind of hard to explain. Then you have the whole capital punishment, apostasy laws. Islam is a political system. Then you have the banking. So this is too much, right? And so I think those are secondary issues, but the main framework of Islam, if it makes sense, then go for it. So that's why I converted. You got that nur. Nur is light, right? I got it right here. Got that light over there. I did not know that people anywhere believe Jesus brings the gifts. Yeah, man, it's all over Europe. Like, I think in Germany, in Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, the whole Eastern Europe, pretty sure. I'm not sure France. I don't think France has this, or some countries like that, or Benelux countries, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people are. It's not cheeses, actually, it's baby cheeses. So it's small cheeses, actually born cheeses. He brings the gifts. Strange idea, by the way. And the same thing goes for Easter. It's even stranger. But that the worst thing about it, being like a former Christian, let's say living in having a Christian background, not even, but having a Christian background, is that like my whole family gets together around these holidays. So Christmas and Easter, and that's the only time I see them. So I have to go and visit them. I don't have a choice. Otherwise, I would never see them. So I'm going for Christmas home. I'm gonna spend 10 days with my family, of course. We're gonna ski. We're gonna have a good time. I'm just not gonna partake in anything slightly religious. Like my Christmas Eve is nothing. Like it doesn't mean anything. As I said, I go to the mosque, and then I have a podcast about apostasy law. I will eat. I will eat the dinner. Like I'll have some food, like potato salad, and then that's it. I don't give out gifts. If somebody gives me gifts, I probably take them, but I don't do anything basically. I'm already, what I did, I bought a mini fridge, and I went and bought. We're gonna buy like few kilograms of halal food, especially halal meat, because when I'm home in Slovakia, there are no halal shops. So I need to bring my own meat. So I have a car, and I'll have in my fridge like kilograms of chickens, and I bring it home so my mom can cook it for me during those 10 days, so that I don't become vegetarian when I'm back home. So that's the plan. Otherwise, I just want to see my family. But yeah, it's pretty difficult, to be honest. Like being a convert in a Christian country, seeing this, like, you know what happened to me also, a crazy thing. You know, there are these Christmas parties, right? In the offices around the what's that? Around the city, you know, you have Christmas parties when people get together at the end of the year and they celebrate whatever. So we had this in the office, right? And I was there. There was food. I got some vegetarian food, right? It wasn't really Christmas party. It was just like, here's food, here's drinks, do what you want. So I didn't drink anything. I was the only one who didn't drink. Everybody was kind of drunk as it goes. Like there was wine, beer, and people say like, you should stay out of this. This is like haram, right? This atmosphere. It is, but the thing is, like, you have to remember, there's like 70 colleagues I have. None of them knows nothing about Islam. And when they get drunk, they used to think deeply. They ask deep questions. So I used this, right? I was there, and I told I was like drinking non-alcoholic beverage, and I was just chatting with them, and I realized I spent like 3-4 hours there. I realized I can have a good time without any alcohol or nothing, and I can do some dawah, and very effective. So I talked to some guys and told them like, hey, did you know the clothes you, because we talked about I think some horrific things in the world, and I said the Uyghurs in China, how are they being prosecuted for believing in God, stuff like that. And then I told one guy, hey, I'm a Muslim, by the way, did you know that? Like and he was like taken back, like, because he showed me a picture of a mosque in Cordoba, Spain, the biggest mosque, And I was like, that's so beautiful. I would love to go there. He said, I was there. And he's gay, by the way. You see, so I don't judge him. Like, it's fine. Like, I just want to like share the message. So he said, this is a great mosque. And I said, like, yeah, I'm a Muslim. I would love to go there. And he was like, really? And I said, yeah, I'm eating halal. You see, I'm not drinking. Like, you didn't figure it out. You see, I fasted during Ramadan. What did you think? I'm fitness, doing some fitness or what? And yeah, so he kept asking some questions, and then other people jumped in, and we had this discussion about like how messed up the whole election cycle is, and like the government. And I was like, well, it's really a structural fault of democracy, because like every 4 years you have to change a person, so you cannot build a long-term vision of the country because you're always thinking about re-election. Also, you have a majority voting, so right, the expert vote and stupid vote has equal value. And also Socrates talked about this. So that's the structural issue with democracy. It's not like just here in Europe. Look at the US, look at Donald Trump. It's not like our problem, it's a problem with the system. And they were like, well, there's no better system. I'm like, yeah, well, there's no better system for people um, who have flexible morality. I agree, there's no better system. So like in Europe, it has to be democracy. um, there's no way a dictatorship is better, or communism. But if you have a society that has core values and they don't want to change them, like based around some higher ideal, I don't think democracy will work in that country. So that was my pitch, and they were like very like, yeah. And then I told them like, well, what do you think future of humanity is? And I said like, you're gonna be uploaded to the cloud because you want to decrease the amount of stress and increase pleasure. So at some point your body will become a problem for you. So you will have to leave your body. You will have to simulate virtual reality, and you will eat pizza and have sex in your head, and this is gonna be kind of Brave New World stuff. And then you're gonna ditch your body and just upload yourself to the cloud. And they were like, yeah, that's very realistic. And I said, yeah, but the problem is you can upload your consciousness, but what about the root? What about your spirit? And the guys were like, there's no spirit. And I'm like, wait a second, I'm gonna prove morality exists. And then I told them about morality, or like how they, inherently believe some things which are true and false, and there's no scientific evidence for it. Like, just like, let's say you see someone run over with a car a baby, like, that's wrong. And you see someone save that baby, that's right. But technically it's neither wrong or right. It's neither. It doesn't matter. It's just molecules. So you have this sense of right and wrong, and it's not something you're born with. It's not something that's you know that has to be developed. You're already born with this intuition. And so that was like really interesting. They were like blown away. And so that's why it's like useful to, to be in these situations. I wouldn't recommend it to any of the guys who are not familiar with this environment. But this is like important, because the world is not a pretty place, and dawa doesn't work like ideally. Like, you have to go to places which are haram. Like, you have to sometimes do these things, not haram, but like you have to go to the environment which is not ideal sometimes. And that's what I have to do. I have no other choice. So, but it was really, mashallah, really great, and I liked it. Anyways, back to Christmas, right? And let me check out what's going to happen. No death penalty for apostasy. Really? How is that? That happens to me when I travel, thinking about my old state. Really? It's crazy, right? When you think about like what I used to value. Actually, what I'm gonna do in a couple of days, inshallah, I'm gonna release a video. So basically, I had a YouTube channel like 4 years ago for business people, and I made a video about purpose of life. I was as an atheist, and it's very strange. I watched it like recently and just kind of thinking about like how messed up I was. You're gonna see my fat face, giant face, fat, and I'm gonna react to myself to see like how I was thinking and how I'm thinking right now. So I think it's gonna be really interesting. But yeah, this is like strange when you think about like how you used to be, what you used to believe. And so I guess I see it like when people say, well, especially around these philosophical ideas, well, liberalism is the best system because it allows for the most free thinking and you can do whatever you want. and that's kind of like true. But then on the other hand, like this level of freedom leads to some counterproductive results in society, right? So like there's always these issues that you have to deal with in any sort of idea. And let me just check some other comments. Salam alaikum, alaikum salam. Maybe in some parts of Europe, mostly Orthodox countries, I believe Christmas is January 6th. Yeah, that's I think those are Russians. There's Eastern Slovaks like Rusins. Oh, my friend is this guy, and they celebrate on the 6th of January. Strange stuff. I don't know why, actually. Was Jesus born on the 6th in their theology? I don't know, but yeah. Russia, Ukraine, they have this. We don't really have this. We are mostly like Catholic. So yeah, these are Orthodox. Czech has the highest porn stars per capita. What you think? Yeah, I think that's correct. Yeah, it's true, man. Like that's what happens when you remove God from a society. Like when you remove fear of God from a society, you instill the fear of everything else inside of that heart of a person. Did I explain that correctly? Basically, yeah, I didn't come up with this. This is from Kanye West, by the way. But when you remove the fear of God from the heart of a believer and they become unbeliever, you instill the fear of everything else into the heart. So they try to please society. And so actually there is nothing wrong with having a lot of porn stars if you believe in that worldview. Like I can tell you right now, like if I was an atheist right now, maybe I wouldn't be a porn star, of course. But I wouldn't see anything wrong with engaging in like sex with different people. I don't think I would see anything wrong with this. I think I would just see it as like, here's what I thought. I would see it as like, well, yeah, I wouldn't cheat. But why? Because, like that's an instinct, right? Like logically you could. But I wouldn't cheat. But if I was a free man in this sick society, I can't even imagine what I would be doing. Dude, on this phone, like if I had like 30 meetings with some girls or something, it would be crazy. I would go crazy with this probably. And then so I would just end up in a very bad spot. I know myself. I get obsessed. And so if I would get obsessed around this sex stuff, oh man, I would end up in a ditch. I would be like really crazy. And that's true. I know myself. I'm a flawed man, very stupid. I'm a very like I easily manipulated by a woman, easily. So yeah, I would be like all over the place. If I didn't have any self-restraint, if I didn't believe in anything, what's the point of life then? I just want to do something before I die. So I would just go and do some crazy stuff within my personal space. So not to harm others, but I would just go and indulge in the dunya probably. Yeah, so that's why. And the thing is, like, you don't realize the spiritual damage you're causing to yourself. So especially if you have sex with someone, like the connection, like that, you're entering another human being, like exchanging fluids or whatever. And it's, first of all, there's an emotional baggage you're carrying with that. Plus they kind of become part of you. You can never take it back. Like I still think back to my previous relationships that I had, and I'm like, subhanallah, I can never take it. They are still in my head, these women. I still think about them sometimes. And so it's something you can never take away from you. And so that's why it's dangerous. Like these things are not just that simple that you can just leave and nothing happens. This is like, it's crazy like what people can do. So yeah, your comment, check biggest porn stars. There's no God in this society. What do you want to do? Like this is what people want. So that's what happens. But the thing is, as a Muslim, you can't do nothing much about this. Like you have to respect their own choices, just as they should respect your choices, because otherwise there will be conflict. So you can't just say, hey, you guys are evil, you're doing this immoral behavior, no one will, no one talks like this, right? And the same goes for the opposite, like when they go and bomb Afghanistan, or they try to impose these freedom and value, whatever values on like conservative Muslim countries, like don't do that, because these people have another set of values. They value Allah on the first place, everything else is secondary. And here you value your freedom and pleasure on the first place, everything else is secondary. Even God is secondary for Christians, maybe. So, different value structures. So, like, if you impose your Islam on these people and you say, like, this is haram, this is evil, I'm not talking Muslims, I'm talking non-Muslims. If you say like this is horrible what you're doing and stuff like that, and you sort of judge them, they'll judge you back. They'll say like you guys are covering up. You guys are too oppressive. So you see, this is a two-way street. You have to be the key to remember any sort of battle of ideas is to be respectful. You can't impose like I don't like Trump. I'm gonna I'm not gonna go there and remove him from the government. People voted him in, and maybe they don't like Gaddafi or somebody who they killed, right? Saddam Hussein. But even though he's a dictator, like what I can do, this is not my country, this is my culture. Why do I engage in it? But of course, this is more like international relations. But I just think like Muslims have to stay out of judging people who are non-Muslim, and non-Muslims have to stay out of Islam as well. And I think that way we can get along pretty well, because Islam will kind of grow to people who are willing or open to learn about it, and those who are close-minded, they can do whatever they want. Simple. Done. Walaikum salam. Walaikum salam. I remember when Christopher Hitchens was asked to objectively ground the moral intuition, he would just avoid the question and say that he has a moral intuition. Yeah, dude, there's many people like that. And I watched actually uh, uh, I watched a debate on blogging theology on Paul's channel between like some agnostic guy who wrote this critique on the Bible, right? This Bart Ehrkamp, or what's his name, and a Muslim sort of doctor. And I don't think it was like I don't think it was a debate, but I think like these agnostics are even worse than atheists, because they just say I don't know to all the things, right? And it's like, well, sure, you don't know, but we know how to get knowledge outside of science. Let's use logic, and that's it. By the way, commercial break. If you haven't, download my book Rational Belief in God, especially if you're dealing with agnostics, Cosmological Arguments for Dummies, Volume 1. I translated it to my language and also translated it to Czech, so hopefully it's gonna work out. Actually, I have a meetup on Tuesday with a Czech here. I'm gonna film it. I do quite now a lot of videos for my Slovak channel, and it's been a strange path, because my grandma called me yesterday that she watched a few of my videos like on repeat, and she loves it. Like she never heard the idea of God described like I described Tawhid, and what I did. So I worked with Daniel from Muslim Skeptic, and I took his videos on Genius of Islam and Polytheism and translated it into my language and sort of added some visuals into it. So there's a Slovak version of that, and it kind of blew up. Not blew up, but it's very popular. And those things are kind of like I want to bring like proper education to them from this sheikh who I'm going to record. And then also they have the book, so it's like I like it. I like it. I focus on that quite a lot now on the Slovak YouTube. I didn't think it's gonna be a thing, by the way. Hey, yeah. Have you ever received threats during your dawah? Yeah, one guy wanted to kill me. One Russian guy was always like threatening me. I blocked him. Uh, hey, dude, I'm boxing. Yeah, I'm fine. It's pretty controversial. Do you think women are oppressed under Islam? Whenever I tend to be religious, my mind forces me to think it is a primitive where women have no right. Do you have some issue? So first of all, are you a Muslim, or what are you? Or are you like a holiday Muslim? Why would you think women have no rights in Islam? Tell me that. For example, paying rent. Who pays rent? Man or a woman, right? Does women can women own her money? Yes. Can women go to a job and get educated? Yes. Do women have to do they have some responsibilities? Yes. But I also have a lot of rights. Is it different? Yes. It's different for man and a woman, of course. There's different role, but just explain the idea of oppression or whatever, and um, yeah, we'll see what happens. I missed the start of the stream. How are you going to deal with Christmas and your family? As I explained, it's pretty simple. I'm not gonna partake in it that much. I'm just gonna eat some potato salad and then watch a movie or something. I don't know. Comes down to disagreement in the early church about when Jesus was born. Uh, you mean the date? I don't think so. I think it's about incorporating pagan festival, because also Krishna, Hindu god, was born on 25th of December. So I think these are pagan ideas that came in and they basically arranged it around the 25th of December. There's also Egyptian god, I think, Horus, or what's his name? He was born on the 25th December. There's actually plenty of gods born on that date because it's about winter eclipse. Winter, what do you call this? I don't know how to say. Eclipse? Yeah, you're kind of entering winter. So who knows? I think Jesus was born in summer actually, according to like some resources. I'm not a scholar of the Bible, but I think Jesus was born around summer. Fact check me on that. Yeah. I know. I know. Also, one thing I wanted to say, like, and this is like a critique for Muslims sometimes in Dawah, when you say like Jesus was a Muslim, and I agree with this, of course, from Islamic perspective. When you talk to Christians, it doesn't make sense. Hey guys, can you hear me? I'm back. What happened is my Wi-Fi got disconnected. So is everything okay? Can you guys hear me? Can you see me? Hopefully you can. Anyways, sorry, just gonna tune off this thing. What was I saying? As a Christian, yeah, I remember. So as a Christian, if you say Muslim, Jesus was a Muslim. Technically, that's correct as a Muslim, but in a Christian mind, Jesus was not a Muslim because he was literally the God. So yes, there are chapters in the Bible where they say like Jesus is praying to God and stuff like that. That's true. But there's also chapters where he says like Father is within me and stuff like that. And so if a Christian understanding is that Jesus is God, which was my understanding as well, then you can't say he was a prophet of God who who was a Muslim, he worshiped God. Like that makes sense in a Muslim mind and makes sense for Christians who don't think Jesus is God. But most Christians believe Jesus is God. Literally, this is the mindset. Allah came coming down as Jesus. That's the thing. So basically you can't really say much. You can't really say he was a Muslim. That's just a side note, because I think it doesn't resonate with me as thinking as a Christian. It wouldn't resonate with me that much. Only if I would doubt that Jesus was God, then yes, it would make much sense. Like then later, when I was an atheist, it makes much sense to clear up Jesus. But it's just a slight note. Salam alaikum, alaikum salam. You don't think that the anti-Islam propaganda is played around this way of thinking? Just have you read the Quran from start to end? Oh, you can read the Quran, but still, you need explanation. It's not just anti-Islam propaganda. Like you need to explain why are women inheriting less money than men. That's a clear injustice, right? That's clear inequality. But it makes sense in Islam because there's a reason, because there's a high responsibility on a man, financially speaking. But if you don't say that, then of course it looks like injustice. And so it's complex, right? Oh man, that's a great question. How does Kofola drink taste? So Kofola is the most famous drink here. It's not like Coca-Cola. It's something like mint Coke, mint Coke or Dr. Pepper. That's Kofola, and everybody's obsessed with it. If you ever come to Slovakia or Czech Republic, everywhere you go, they will serve you Kofola if you ask for it. So go for it. It's really cool drink. I have to drink it because it's non-alcoholic. Didn't know that you have a book. What's the name of your Slovak channel? So the book is in my community tab, by the way, on this channel. Go and download it. There's a link to it. It's free. I actually made a hard copy and made it into a real book in Slovak and Czech. There are 10 books printed out. I will maybe make an English one. I don't want to sell these, but I would have to have some like shipping and stuff. I don't want to do this. I just want to do it purely for the Dawa, and I don't want anything with it. I didn't even put my name here, just like my channel. So because it's not really a book technically, I didn't like quote sources and make it really nice. It's just booklet for people to grasp the arguments. Because I think I pretty much summed up all the arguments you can think about from from all the different types of logics and schools of thought. So I think it could be useful, and yeah, and I think Yusuf Ponders and others retweeted it on Twitter. It went pretty not viral, but many people saw it, and I think it's pretty good. Got some good feedback on it. So I'm just happy that people can have it. Holiday Muslims, yes, I know some like that. Winter Solace, exactly. That's what I meant. Froze. 25th is Winter Solace in the Julian calendar, but I don't think there's actually stronger than the day. Maybe, I don't know. But I know many gods are born on 25th. Just Google 25th December gods or something like that, and you besides Jesus, you'll see a bunch of names. So that's it. You can add your Slack channel to your channels section. I don't really want to, because what happens, like people from this channel go there and they comment in English and it doesn't make sense. I don't want any English comments there. I just want Slovak comments because I want to have it only for Slovak Czech community, let's say. And any English comment helps, but people then ask like, can you translate this? No, the purpose is to have a separate channel so that I can speak in my language. And anything I speak here on is different, because the point is, here on this channel, you all guys are Muslims. On that channel, everyone's non-Muslim. Most of the people who watch me are non-Muslim, and here it's Muslim. So it's completely different message, right? Bismillah. What's this? I haven't read it yet, but I'm definitely. It's only 16 pages, but it's really good. Like, I'm proud of myself. It's my first kind of attempt to do something like this. What would you recommend to a porn addict to relieve himself from this nonsense? Hey man, I've been there. Dude, it's pretty crazy. Hey man, this is like the biggest fitna in our world right now. Uh, you know what you have to do? I want to bring on Angel from Free Muslims to talk about this, but let me make a note. I think he would be a good guy to bring in. Angel. Um, Basically, you need to develop a couple of days without it, and you need to stay out of it as much as you can. So it's going to be very difficult in the beginning, right? Because you are addicted, and your dopamine releases when you watch it, and it's a biological thing. It's not a drug. So you always have this urge and need. It always comes up. It's not like you can turn it off. Dude, I'm struggling with this to this day. To this day, it's not something I have fully under control. So I don't think any man has this. But basically, it's all, I realize this anytime I relapse or something like that, it's all in your mind. So let's say you have 6 days and you haven't done that, or you haven't watched it or anything like that. And then a thought comes to your mind, or you see a nice woman or something, and then you start fantasizing about her, right? And then you forget about it, but it's in the back of your mind, and you again continue thinking about this, and now you are like imagining it even worse. And then you look at other women, and you just can't stop yourself from looking at them. You're like possessed by shaitan or whatever. And then you have whatever, what happens when you are excited, so that thing happens. And then you can't stop thinking about it. You can't stop thinking about it, and it kind of ruins your day, and this can go for a day or two. And then you just completely, you don't have a wife, so you can't take it out on her, let's say, this need. And then it doesn't work if you do it outside of the porn, right? You have to watch something to do it, because it doesn't really have that same feeling. So then you kind of, sometimes you're on the computer and you just type it in and you watch it, and you fail, and you feel, especially once you're done, you feel disgusted. You feel like you have done something horrible. Dude, we all sin, and it is disgusting. You should feel horrible, and that's good. That's a sign of iman. That's a sign that you feel this is not the correct way to behave yourself. So what you should do, you should just take a shower like ghusl in Islam, wash yourself, and do wudu, and go and do tawbah to Allah, if you believe in Allah, if you are a Muslim. So what you do, I did this many times. I did this. So you go and you basically uh, say to Allah that this was the last time, and you make a you make a, in your heart, not conviction, you make a statement like you are trying to quit, you want to quit, and you seek forgiveness from Him. Then you pray, and you offer 2 salats maybe or something like that, and you go about your day. You try not thinking about it. And this is kind of like, anytime you feel this, just go and do wudu, just clean yourself up, and try to stay clean within these things. I mean, it sounds strange, right? Like, why would you do wudu if doing this? How is this going to help me? It's just connecting you back to Allah, not forgetting that Jahannam is real, and each of these things can get you to hellfire permanently. Permanently. So, actually, I think there's a hadith when it says, like, whenever a sinner sins, they are not a believer in that moment, because they don't believe in Allah. Because if they did, they wouldn't sin. But and son of Adam will always sin. So we always sin. We seek forgiveness from Allah then, and Allah should forgive us, inshallah, and we can continue. And if you fail again, don't worry. Just keep doing tawbah. Keep doing this. I've been doing this for a year. Sometimes when I slip or something happens, I hate myself. Then I just do tawbah. I clean myself, and I go about my day again. And I just, even if I promise I won't do it, and it happens next day, I do it again. I never stop. I never stop praying, because as soon as you stop, that's what Shaitan wants. He wants to take you out of. He wants you to do kufr, so you disbelieve in Allah. And basically, the more sins you do, the more outside of Islam you become, and then you just say like, oh, I don't like Islam because it doesn't fit my desires, and you leave, right? So that's what you want to avoid. You want to stick to the prayer, and you want to stick to this. And pornography is horrible. Also, don't spend time on your computer alone. Make sure there's people around you, or your family or somebody, so you can't do it. And if you feel it, go jog, go do something to take your mind off it. But whenever you have these crazy ideas, these thoughts in your head, especially when you go to sleep or something, just stop thinking about it. Start thinking about something else, because that idea can grow into a crazy obsession, and that's what then can actually lead. Imagine, it can lead you to hellfire. How crazy is that? So think about it next time. Ain't that crazy? Yeah, but you have to practice wudu. You have to do this, because it doesn't help just you watch something on the internet. You are online. You can within 2 seconds go to a porn site. You want to avoid this. You want to block everything like that. if you are online, just try to stay out of this. And subhanallah, it's not easy, but believe me, I've been there, and I'm gonna email Angel. We can do a podcast about this. I'm gonna make a note. Cool. Even thinking about it is haram. I think it's key not thing. Cool. That's the idea. That's a great idea. Yeah. Just don't come near it. But the thing is, this is a Muslim perspective. Like as a non-Muslim or somebody who watched it already or who's addicted, you watched maybe thousands and thousands of porn movies. They are in your head. You cannot take them out. You forever can think back to them. So that's the problem, right? You have transgressed against yourself. So, inshallah, all these acts can help you, but you have a problem because you've programmed your mind, just as I did with alcohol. I've been drinking for 15 years, right? So, my mind is always programmed to drink. Even if I'm abstinent and maybe I can be abstinent for 10 years, I can always go back. So, just you've hurt yourself, but just stay on the straight path. And I think that's a good way to end it, guys. I'm gonna celebrate my Christmas. Oh yeah, Christmas time is here. And this fake commercial holiday. But anyways, I respect Christians. All power to you guys. But think about God before you celebrate Christmas. Anyways, thank you guys. I maybe do some live stream from Slovakia, and it was nice talking to you. I think we had a good time. Jazakallah khair for being here, and yeah, see you maybe next year, inshallah. Next year in this calendar, in this life. See you guys.